Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and so the next question was, how long did I do a water fast? Okay, so initially, like I said, when I started to study the HS, I noticed that I knew that I was gonna have to go ahead and do a detox. So I went ahead and did my first water detox, water fast, and I didn't eat any foods, no solid foods, nothing other than water. That was the only thing that I consumed for 3 days. Okay. Typically, they want you to do the water fast for at least 5 days, um, maximum 7 days at the most. I probably could have made it to the fifth day of the fast, but I felt like I didn't really need to do that. I wanted to just kind of play around with it and test around with it. So I did do a 3-day fast, and in the midst of that fast, it was very difficult, and I can make a whole video on that later on, the symptoms with fasting and things like that. But definitely at the end of the fast, I definitely felt like, I had been detoxed fully. So that was important. And like I said, all I did was drink alkaline water. Actually, I just drank alkaline water for those 3 days only. And at the end of the fast, I don't really believe I lost a lot of weight, but I definitely could tell that when I was sweating, I didn't have an odor. I didn't have an odor at all. My pee was clear, obviously, because there was no toxins in my body whatsoever. My skin, after it got pretty bad, it got better. But like I said, I'll do a whole video on water fasting and how beneficial it can be for somebody. Scarring. Okay. So thank God I didn't have the major scarring that I saw a lot of people deal with. And I just believe that it didn't get that bad because I didn't allow it to get that bad. Even though I have been dealing with my HS for a long time, I felt like I've always kind of kept it under control. Like I didn't wait for the swelling to get huge. Like there was one time I did actually didn't I chose not to go to the doctor and pick up a round of antibiotics just because I didn't want to. And when I tell you, I ended up in the hospital having to get an incision and drainage done because I thought that I can control it myself, and it got out of hand, and I ended up having to go to the emergency room because I couldn't walk or anything. So after that experience, every time that I had a flare up, I addressed it right away. I did the hot compress method. I did the soaking in the tub. I definitely took the turmeric pills. I just did everything that I researched that I knew that would bring down the inflammation. So I never allowed the cysts or the boils to get big, except for that one time. And after that, I just was like, no, this will never happen again. So as it comes to scarring, I didn't really have any major scarring. Now I did have scarring that was, I wouldn't say that it was scarring. It was kind of, well, yeah, let's go ahead and say that it was a scar. But initially, but after, not initially, but after everything had cleared up, it didn't leave a scar for me. I didn't have a scar. Maybe like an indentation of, it being so swelled, and then after all the pus had been released, it kind of was like a little indentation within my groin area. But I don't know if it was just because my groin is looking that way, or I really think like I just didn't really have scarring. So thank God for this, no scarring at all. Um, what else? What else have you guys asked me about? Yeah, gluten. Okay. So for me, the gluten wasn't as big of a deal. Now, I truly believe, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, and there's so much misinformation in regards to this disorder out there. Like, nobody really knows what HS is even to this day. So it's very hard to really pinpoint the things that cause the flare-ups all the way, right? But for me, for my body, it wasn't so much the gluten. It was the sugar, the alcohol, the stress, and most importantly, it was the dairy. I cannot ingest dairy whatsoever. My body does not like dairy in every way, not just the flare-ups with the HS, but literally stomach problems, IBS, gassiness, the skin. Like, my body does not like dairy whatsoever. I've never even been a big dairy person. I didn't like cheese until I got in my teenage years. I never ate cheese as a kid. I never drank milk. And to this day, I don't drink milk at all. Like, I've always been, I was a breastfed baby, so I didn't grow up on whole milk or anything like that. But as I got older, I started to eat a lot of macaroni and cheese, a lot of cheese products, and that's when I started to build up my tolerance for milk, for dairy. But I do know that my body's never liked dairy since I was a child. So definitely as I got older, that's when I noticed my flare-ups would act out the most. Like, I would literally get an ice cream cone from the store, and shortly after that, I was getting tightness in my groin, like there was about to be a boil. So water. Water to me is the cure for just about everything. Detoxing your body and hydrating your body helps flush out toxins, okay? Flush out bacteria. Unfortunately, I do feel like the boil can get worse because of the bacteria that is built up. I feel like those toxins within the lymphatic system gets built up, and it builds up into your groin, okay? You are not your groin, but the cyst or the boil, whatever you want to call it. I feel like if you're not drinking enough water, those toxins are just going to travel to that site, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So in my opinion, water is always going to be something that I would try to dissipate it if I was still struggling with this disorder. I would definitely take into consideration removing a lot of the sugar out of my diet, definitely removing dairy, because like I said, for me, for my body, the dairy was a no-go. So I definitely had to remove that. And yeah, the sugar was just feeding the bacteria, feeding the growth of it. And yeah, so definitely water is key, because water will actually help things flow better through the lymphatic system, so things don't get built up. There's so many questions. Did my skin clear up? Yes. Obviously, you are what you eat. So you'll realize that, when you release certain things out your diet, out your lifestyle, your skin is going to flourish. Okay, that's just in general. So yeah, I would just suggest seeking out a good dermatologist. There's a bunch of questions, and I don't think I'm gonna have enough time in this video to kind of go over everything, but I hope I answered majority of the questions. But yeah, if you're suffering from this, I suggest that you seek out a an educated dermatologist, okay, that is familiar with your skin type, because we all have different skin types, and that's not me being racist. That's no, we all have different skin types and different genetic makeups, and it's important to have a dermatologist who understands, you know, your body and is a little bit more educated. So definitely seek out a good dermatologist and or a holistic specialist, somebody who is going to help you heal the body from the inside out, because that's what a dermatologist is going to do. The dermatologist is going to mainly focus on the external situation of the disorder, opposed to the holistic doctor is going to work from the inside out. And that's genuinely, like, generally that is how it needs to be. All right, you want the inside healthy, and then the outside will follow, right? So one last thing, supplements. Okay, supplements. At the time, I did take a lot of supplements. I was taking, and that's just because I was in the process of doing a detox. So I did take zinc. I took vitamin C, a lot of turmeric, but what I've learned, it's best to just supplement it with the correct food, guys, because a lot of the times, like I said, anything that's being mass produced, it is included with things that we shouldn't really be ingesting at all. So keep that into consideration, that it's always best to just go organic. It's always best to just go with the natural stuff. Natural ginger, you know, fresh ginger root, fresh garlic, fresh ground turmeric, fresh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to stay to the basics, stick with the basics. So that is just how I live my life. I live my life organically. I try my best to. I'm not perfect. Yeah, I have my days where I may slip up and get hungry and have to have a McDonald's cheeseburger, you know, not cheeseburger because I don't eat cheeseburgers, but a hamburger or something like that. And it is what it is, but everything in moderation. And I just feel like the detox for me was the stepping stone, and just choosing to do better. Okay, choosing to, if there's a hamburger here and there's a bowl of kale salad, I'm going to choose the kale salad, because I know at the end of the day, that's what my body needs. And not everything is for taste. You know, it's not for taste. It's to live. It's to grow. It's to, you know, provide nutrients for your body. So, just take that into consideration. And, you know, I spread love and light to anybody who is still struggling with this, because it is no fun. It's embarrassing. It's no fun. It's no fun to be up in the air and not know what's going on with your body. So I hope this video helped. If it did, please write a comment, like, share, subscribe. This video, I'm glad when I made this video, it was very emotional for me, because I was just in a dark place at that time. And like I said, nobody wants to be confused about what their body is doing. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't want to ramble on and on, but I'll catch you guys in the next video. I will have some content coming soon. And don't forget to follow my other pages, Empress Loves Tarot, where I do my tarot readings there. So I hope you guys enjoy. Love you, love you, love you. And see you in the next video. Bye, YouTube.